New sign up. That's code sports for a special offer.
You have the run sheet up to where, or do you need me to?
The Pennsylvania Conference for Women returns virtually on November 10th. The most decorated gymnast of all time, Simone Biles, joins the powerful lineup, which includes award-winning actress, mental health.
You sure Simone Biles is actually going to show up for that?
Well, 1 minute.
Award-winning actress, producer, and equal rights advocate, Laverne Cox, researcher and storyteller, Brene Brown. Learn more and register at paconferenceforwomen.org.
iHeartRadio, soundtrack, flashback.
Nice socks, Brad. 1970.
Yeah, nice socks, Slash.
Dancing to the time.
Yes.
How long before it's a TikTok dance, I wonder?
All right, 30 seconds. Yeah, I plugged in.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Oh, get the Gambler on your smart speaker.
Legal's
Just
about
ask
to
Alexa
play.
or Google to play Fox
Let's
PHL
do it.
Gambler.
Your request is my command.
WDAS Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, the Gambler, an iHeart radio station. Presented by Cure Auto Insurance.
Summer Sundays are back for freshly cut grass, ballpark dogs, and the best baseball talk you can find. So kick back with your bacon and Greg Murphy and Green Legion Radio's Chris Sack break down your fighting bills and take you around the league right now on Baseball Brunch. Play ball.
Morning, Philadelphia. Morning. That's because it is morning, and it's not a good morning here in the Delaware Valley because our teams just refuse to be anything better than mediocre and average. This is Bud Light Baseball Brunch powered by Green Legion Radio on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler in Philadelphia, 104.1 in the Trenton area, WDAS around the rest of the Delaware Valley, or simply download that iHeartRadio app and you can listen to us anywhere crystal clear worldwide. We are broadcasting live from the Fox Sports The Gambler studios in Pelican Woods, setting you up for Phillies Padres at 3:40 this afternoon. I'm Chris Sack, a very disgruntled Chris Sack from Green Legion Radio, sitting alongside my co-host and epic Phillies broadcaster over here, Mr. Greg Murphy. Murph, how you feeling today?
I'm sleepy. That's
sleepy a little bit.
It's been a rough 5 days out there on the West Coast. It certainly has not been fun to watch this team over the last 5 days.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we are. And hey, that's what it is right now. That's where we sit. I mean, you talk about the difference between 2 weeks ago as we sat here, on the heels of the 8-game winning streak and things were flying high.
Riding high, baby, riding high.
And what has happened since then has been nothing short of,
disaster.
Disastrous is a good way to describe it. It really has been. It's amazing how things can change so quickly in a sport that you play 162. It's a long season, but in the blink of an eye, in a 2-week span, you watch the Mets lose 10 games in the standings. Phillies jump into first place, and then next thing you know, bang, they're 5 games out. They're not playing good baseball right now. The offense has been just abysmal.
I've got numbers to back that up.
Yeah, it's been so bad. The defense was bad again last night. Aaron Nola was outstanding right up until the moment that he allowed that 2-run home run that I would imagine a lot of people didn't even see. You wake up to that this morning because it happened so late. But yeah, it's been tough. It
has been tough, and I don't know if the Phillies can fix it, but I can tell you who can fix it. MCS Residential and MCS Custom Cabinetry for all your residential contracting needs. This is who you want to talk to. Everything from additions, renovations, kitchens, baths, closet organization, cabinetry, vanities, basements, everything you need. Mention the Green Legion and get 10% off your order, regardless of how much. Reach out to them at www.mcsinc-pa.com or call them at 484-202-3656. That is www.mcsinc-pa.com. www.mcsinc-pa.com or call them at 484-202-3656. We have some tickets to give away. I mean, if you want to watch mediocre baseball against from the Phillies and from another team that should be the worst team in Major League Baseball, but they're not because thanks to us this past week. So we're going to give away 2 tickets coming up. Murph, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, giving away 2 tickets for the Phillies Diamondbacks next Sunday at 1:05. Perhaps some payback to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
God, you would hope so.
Yeah, you would hope so. It is a back-to-school gym bag giveaway day to all children 14 and under. Hopefully, mom and dad can win these tickets and take the kids to the game, get that giveaway. Also, you can stop over at 1100 Social. We will be there next week as well over at Xfinity Live before the game. You can come and say hi. All right, so in order to win the tickets, you have to answer in the comments section on the Green Legion Radio YouTube channel, the Green Legion Facebook page, or at our Twitter handle at Green Legion. And we're going to go away from the trivia question this week, right?
Yes.
We don't want to – no one has to think this morning. It's way too early, at least for me. It's way too early. I'm working on 5 hours of sleep.
SummerSlam kept me up until about 12:30 last night.
I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it was fun.
What did I tell you guys? I was like, Murph was going to be like, what are we talking about here?
SummerSlam. No, forget it. I'm not going there. All right. In the spirit of back to school and kids going back to school coming up in just a couple of weeks. We're at that point already.
We're there.
We are
The
there.
end of summer's coming up, and 2 weeks from today is Labor Day weekend.
My son goes back to school on Monday, and he's home for the weekend from Annapolis, but he goes back on Monday. They start classes already on Monday.
Well, Florida started like a week or two ago.
Yeah, the high schools.
Right?
Yeah. Well, the South, they start a little bit earlier, but here it just seems early to me. Anyway, all right, we are asking today that you give us your favorite television show or movie, TV or movie, that is centered around school. All right. So that it has to be, school has to be the main, the main location of the particular movie or TV show. 1 entry per person. And you put it through to the places that I mentioned, Green Legion Facebook page, our Twitter handle, the Green Legion Radio YouTube page. And we will pick the best one that we believe is the best one.
We will try. We might need a tiebreaker here.
You and I rarely agree on any of this stuff, but that's because it's a generational.
But
thing.
that's what makes it
I'm
fun.
much younger than you are. So
actually, you look much younger than me.
I don't know about that. I feel like I'm about 85.
I'm the one that's balding and getting fat. So outside of that. But Murph, how about you? Why don't you give us yours?
All right. So for me, as soon as we started talking about this, for me, it's easy. And I think most people of my generation, God, I sound so old when I say stuff like that, but to me, it's Breakfast Club. It hands down, Breakfast Club. It was one of the best movies of a generation for sure. Obviously, it takes place in high school, and it has everything. It's a very funny movie. Obviously, great cast. But also kind of, poignant, and it sends a message too as well. So for me, Breakfast Club, easy. Any other answer is wrong. What's yours?
Oh, well, I'll give you the way you're set up with your mic today, Murph, because you haven't set up your mic like this before. You look like Mel Gibson in Braveheart. It's like your eye. I can see your eye right through. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, freedom. All right, for my generation, I could easily go for 2 out of this, but I'm going to go with the one that swept me up when I was a kid.
I already know where you're going.
Boy Meets World.
Oh, okay. No,
Boy Meets World, dude. I loved Boy Meets World as a kid. I loved it when they brought back the old cast members on Disney Channel, and they had Girl Meets World. I mean, it wasn't as good, but it was great to see the old characters: Corey Matthews, Topanga, Sean.
I thought that was I feel like my kids watched Boy Meets World.
Well, I guess
How old are you?
I'm 35.
Yeah. Well, I must have been on for a while because I'm pretty sure
it was towards the end of the 90s, early 2000s, and then you had Feeney.
Yeah, no.
No, you don't. Okay, all right.
That's right with SummerSlam.
All right. Well, this probably all right. So Mr. Feeney was the voice of the car in Knight Rider.
Okay.
All right. Those are his 2 big claims to fame.
I see. I got you.
All right. So there's that. Now I need Timmy because we need to bring you in here, Tim, because you're going to be probably the tiebreaker between the two of us here. So why don't you give me your favorite?
Okay. So I think this is it's an interesting question because the best, most quality, I'll go with Murph the Breakfast Club. That was the first one that came to my head. But my personal love, I'm a Boy Meets World guy. So I think what's your favorite is my question. Yeah. If the question's favorite, I'm Boy Meets World out of those 2.
My man.
Now I did have a question. Would would Ferris Bueller's Day Off have counted? Because it's school based.
It is.
But
Yes.
It's not in the like, that's
It
what- that's
does.
the question.
That's a very good one.
That
Yes.
is a good one.
Ferris Bueller Day Off. Yes, that does qualify. That's a good one, man. I like it. Bring that alacrity when we need you for the tiebreakers. There's no chance on God's green earth that Murph and I are going to agree on
No,
this.
there's very little. I'll be honest. I thought you were going to go with Saved by the Bell because that to me,
I loved Saved by the Bell.
right. That's what I thought.
My first crush was Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah.
My first
You see
crush.
the dark haired one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's pretty.
Yeah, she was bad.
Yeah.
She was bad for sure. You know what? You know what else? You know what else is bad this week? The Phillies.
Yes.
And that's why we're gonna go out of the box. Yes, they are, Lloyd. Yes, they are. Because this team.
Is that us? Who am I? Am I dumb or dumb?
Listen, I'm smiling right now. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. But I've had enough of this team now.
So you're not going to watch anymore.
No, I'm going to.
39 games
I'm going to. Listen, it took everything in my being today to put this shirt and this hat on. All right, I really wanted to walk in here today in a nice polo, just like you, But I just couldn't do it to myself because this team is infuriating. They're insufferable, and it's not just this year, Murph, where you sit there and you have hopes. Okay, for the first time, and this team can make the playoffs in a decade, and they've done it to us not just this year. They did it to us last year, and in 2019, and in 2018, and constantly every single year, the team starts to fade down the stretch. When you get to the dog days of summer in mid-August, and you take it into September, it is extremely pathetic. And I'll tell you what, Murph. And if you look on the other side, and I know I've said all along, I've waited for Gabe Kapler and the Giants to come back. Right. And they have just a little bit. A week ago, they were up 5 games on the Dodgers. And now I think it's only a game and a half that they're up on.
Yeah, they lost 2 in a row. That was their longest losing.
Yeah, right. But they're starting to fade just a little bit now. But even then, they're still 12 games up on the Padres, I believe, 10 or 12 games up on them. So, the Giants are going to make the playoffs. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say this. It comes down. It's no longer about Gabe Kapler. It's no longer, in my opinion, too many people are trying to turn this on Joe Girardi. So I'd like to extend some sort of an apology to Gabe for putting this on him. Because really, in reality, I'm placing this on the players.
Always.
I'm putting it on them. Because this right here, this lapse in any urgency that this team has, where you were 2 weeks ago, you were on the brink. When we did our show before that Mets game, 39,000 people went in to see Roy Halladay's number 34 retired, right on the brink of us sweeping them and going up 2 games on the Braves, 2.5 up on the Mets. And ever since then, it's been complete and utter disaster. And a lot of it has to do with the offensive woes. And I got some numbers here that I ran over here this morning, Murph, because I didn't want to put everything together like I normally do, like yesterday, because I wanted to take into account for last night. 3-8 since their 8-game winning streak.
Yep.
3 straight series losses, including a 3-game sweep at the hands of the NL worst Diamondbacks. They were the worst team in Major League Baseball when that series started. Swept by a team who had a winning percentage of .320 or worse entering that series for only the 3rd time in franchise history. This team's been around since 1883. 3rd time in franchise history. Offensive woes over the last 15 days. They're worst in Major League Baseball. OPS, batting average, slugging percentage, tied with the Orioles with 36 runs scored, 73 hits, which is 12 hits behind the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're worst. They're worst by 12 hits. 2nd worst in on-base percentage and runs batted in. Only 13 home runs, which is tied for 4th from last with teams like the Mets, the Tigers, and your punching bag, the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
That just goes to show how inept this team is. And I'm putting it on the players, Murph. I'm putting it on them because historically, this team has been built from nothing but losers. It started with who built them from beginning. McPhail is a historic loser. 30 years since that guy won a World Series title. He's a loser, Murph. Take it back to the Twins. He's been a loser his whole entire career outside of that stretch. Clentak is a loser. Middleton, since he took over the reins here, is a loser. And I can say this stuff because I don't work for the team. They are.
But I don't. I think that. No, I got to stop you there. Okay? Because
go ahead.
That's not accurate. I mean, Middleton brought a World Series to this city. So
I put more of that on David Montgomery.
well, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't put all of this on John Middleton, but give David Montgomery the credit for when
I'm going to give him more of the credit than I will, because he was the actual guy that was in charge. He was the guy that was pressing the buttons at the time.
He was the team president. He wasn't the general manager at the time. That was Pat Gillick. So,
Yeah.
well, okay. So, look, I hear you. The frustration is real. I mean, I am 100% on board. The numbers you just threw out, absolutely ridiculous when it comes to the way this offense. This is a team that was built on offense. A team that was supposed to score runs, and you were gonna pitch good enough to keep you in it. Right now, the last 2 weeks, they have done absolutely nothing offensively, and for most of the season, they have been pretty up and down. All of that is true, and you putting it on the players is exactly where it needs to be. This sports in general, people who like to point to coaches and managers, and honestly, unless the manager is building the team, unless they are in charge of the talent. Who was the last guy that actually ever did
baseball,
that? Yeah, rare.
Yeah,
I mean,
football. Belichick, Reed. Guys like that.
And those guys struggled. Andy did. Andy struggled with that
when they got more in charge.
When you take that, it comes down to the people playing the game. Almost always, and especially in baseball, 162 games, the manager might influence 5 games a year, maybe, like
10, five on the negative, 5 on the positive.
Like last night, everybody in Philadelphia, no, I shouldn't say everybody, but I bet you most people in Philadelphia last night
wanted to see Nola complete that game.
Absolutely. Keep him in. And had he taken him out, this place would have gone ballistic. What's he doing? Joe Girardi's an idiot. Why do you take him out? He's the best guy. And then that happens. And then it's
why did you take him out?
You can't do that. I mean, you can. If you're a fan and you want to do that, fine. But it doesn't make any sense, and I don't have to agree. It's like that's the kind of stuff that drives me absolutely bananas, because you hear it. You better leave him in. You better leave him in. Bang, Cronenworth hits a 2-run home run. I can't believe he left him in. And so, look, Aaron made a mistake. At the worst part of that game, he left the pitch hanging, and tip your cap to Cronenworth. He buried it.
But the thing is, though, the offense didn't give him any wiggle room in that situation.
Exactly.
The whole game.
That's why it's the player.
Nola started that. It was 1-0 until Nola hit that double. And he started the inning, and we got 2 runs because of hit by pitch.
And if you had looked at my timeline as Joe Girardi leaves Aaron Nola in to lead off the 8th, you would think that Aaron had allowed 6 runs already in this game, because people are like, why are you doing this? You're only at 1.
It's kind of like Matt Moore last week.
Joe Girardi's he's brilliant.
Yeah. If you would have left Matt Moore in to face the Reds lineup for a third time, and then he gets torched, why are you leaving Matt Moore in there? He's got a 6 ERA.
This team, 2 weeks ago, this team was in first place in the National League East. They were. That's a fact. They were in first place. They were better than every other team in the National League East. Now they are 5 games back. And the reason is because over the last 2 weeks, the players have played poorly, very poorly. And that's really all it's all about. It's not about any of the other stuff. None of that matters. What matters is what's happened over the last 2 weeks in between the lines. And that is Andrew McCutchen is in a dreadful slump like we saw at the beginning of the season.
Didi Gregorius
has been terrible this season offensively. A lot of injuries. There might be reasons for it. Doesn't matter. He's struggled mightily. JT Realmuto has struggled mightily over the last couple of weeks.
Gene Segura is underneath 300.
Gene Segura, for the first time this season, is struggling. Rhys Hoskins, not in the lineup. I mean, Alec Boehm has disappeared offensively from this team. That is why the team is 5 games under 500. That is why they lost 3 in the desert. Those are the reasons.
Awful.
And it's okay to be frustrated, and it's okay to you want your head to spin off and be, but that's why. That's it. That's the reason, and there are no other reasons. And the beauty of this is they've got 39 games to play, and we saw what can happen in the course of 10 games. What can happen? So who knows? Maybe they put together another streak and it flip-flops again. Who knows? But right now they've got their work cut out for them, and it's not looking good.
Are we expecting to get Reese back coming up here?
We talked to Reese yesterday, and there is a chance he's in the lineup today. I haven't seen the lineup yet. I'm sure it's not out yet. There is a chance that he's in the lineup today. He worked out pretty hard yesterday, and they were waiting to see how he felt. And if he feels good today, then he will be in that lineup today. And man, oh man, they need him. They need him. You know, the guys behind Bryce right now. Bryce is the only one who's really still swinging the bat. I mean,
You don't- because you don't have to pitch to him.
you don't have. Yeah, they're not giving him anything.
Yeah,
but when they do, he's getting his.
I was going to save this because this was a Jason Stark stat from the other day. Bryce Harper. Okay, he was the first Philly. This was last Sunday. He was the first Philly to go hitless, but have 2 RBIs and 3 walks in a game in almost 70 years. Last to do it was Stan Lapata on July 13th, 1952.
How about that?
I mean, it's like I was going to save that as one of my, one of my. Can you believe it?
I'm sure we've got a bunch more because there's been a lot this week where you say to yourself, "Can you believe this?"
Yeah.
None of it good. But
Eflin started for Reading the other day. He went 2 into third.
that was a really good sign.
How many more starts are we looking at having him in the minor leagues? It's probably another one, and then
I would
and then
think
he'll come
one,
up.
and as long as he feels good, he's back. There's an outside chance that they don't even give him that one, but I think they think they'll probably give him one more. Let him.
Matt Moore is
stretch him out a
He's
little.
the last 2 wins.
I know, and that's the other thing. If you go back, and I meant to go back and look at the numbers this morning, but I decided to drink 40 ounces of coffee instead.
I saw the photo on Twitter.
But if I had to bet, I think they've lost something like 7 of the last 10 starts of Nola and Wheeler. The team has lost those games, something like that. Whereas Matt Moore, they've won his last 2 starts. So baseball's just it's
a weird game.
It is.
It's a weird game.
It is. And when things aren't going right, it sucks. It just sucks. But I went back. I was looking. I do the podcast every week, and on the podcast we have Larry Ball comes on. We relive 1980, so we kind of go game by game. And on this date in 1980, the Phillies had lost like 5 of their last 6, and were 3.5 games out. 3.5 games out of the division, and heading in the wrong direction before they caught fire in September and were able to track down the Expos and win the division. So, we know about 2007 and what the Phillies were able to do to track down the Mets. A lot can happen in 39 games.
Those teams historically had track records of actually winning down the stretch.
2007 did not.
No, but they at least finished in second place. They finished in 06. They finished in second. 05. They finished in second. But the thing was though, it was more so the beginning of the season is what killed them. The end of the season is where they caught fire. They just couldn't catch them at the end.
Well,
1980, they won the division in 76, 77, and 78. They didn't make the playoffs in 79, so you knew it was in them. This team, to me, I don't see it in them.
That's because they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but
they
get
that.
They
it has to happen. There has to be a first time.
I understand that. Yeah, but you have to prove it to me. 2018, you faded. 2019, you faded. 2020 was 60 games. You faded.
No doubt.
Until I get that taste from these guys that they are capable of that. When you get past August 15th, that you are capable of making a run like that, you got to show me, Bammer. You got to show me.
No doubt about it. I'm not arguing that.
I know.
You absolutely, until they show you, then, you have this feeling of they can't do it. How many times have we said this guy will never win a championship? Right up until they do. You know what? I mean, in every sport, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
This guy will never win. This guy will never win. And then they win. And then it's like, okay, I guess. And that's sports. And that's the beauty of sports. Is this team capable of catching the Braves? I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
It's either the Braves or the Padres they have to catch at this point.
Here's the thing. They have a chance to catch the Braves. It's there in front of them. They have the opportunity.
The Braves schedule gets tough over the next week. I think they get the Yankees and the Dodgers.
And the Dodgers.
Yeah. So it does get tougher for them.
And I know what you're going to say to that, but the Phillies get the Diamondbacks and the Pirates 2 times.
We need revenge.
Yeah, but the Phillies have to win those games.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Revenge.
Had they won 2 of the 3 in Arizona,
I'd feel a hell of a lot better.
Well, they'd be sitting 3 games back at that point, right? And look, the Braves they've won 8 in a row, right? And I think they've won 9 of their last 10. They've won 12 in a row on the road. They're playing terrific right now, but they are playing some bottom feeders too. they're taking care of business.
They know how to beat up on the bad teams. That's what the Braves do.
And that's something that this team has not been able to show us yet. And it's the only way they win this division. It's the only way. They have to take care of it. They have to beat up on the bad teams. They're going to have a chance. So yeah, here it is, guys. And guess what? We'll all be pretty darn excited if they do.
God, I hope so. And I need to be excited. And I'll tell you what, I was surprised by what Arizona did to us this week, but life is full of surprises, some good and some not so good. That's why your State Farm agent is there with good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates for everyone. Yep, that's right. At State Farm, you get great service and great rates with every policy, so you can be prepared for all life surprises. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When you want the real deal, call David Busso, State Farm Agency, 856-740-5012. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. Make sure you guys get in on our message board right now because we want to know what your favorite TV show or movie based around school, and also make sure you get your questions to show and life advice with Murph coming up right here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. We are Bud Light Baseball Brunch, and we'll be right back right after this.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a price
Good.
and long-term
Good block.
contract.
Intense.
Like
it. Like it.
Because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide with plans starting at just $35 a month. And no
Yeah, you want to come back with
Plus,
this
get a
one?
Samsung
Yeah, I'll
Galaxy
do that one.
So it's the
5G
Box
for
Pro.
$299. All on
Put
America's
that,
best networks.
you know,
5G
record
coverage,
to you and
5G
just hit
phones,
play.
less money. Straight Talk Wireless. No
And then
contract.
just what is it now?
5G people device required.
Turn it off. Yeah.
Speed may vary.
Guys, you have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah, the first break.
Ready position. NECK neck sip. Time to free up those hands. Where your drink, everyone. It is anywhere.
Quimby.
And snacks. Text with both.
Hey, he's doing my read.
He was like hammered. He's like,
Are
there spots in the system?
Sporting events.
No, I've never
USA made only $5 each.
Is that what I'm doing out of the break? Next
Chicken nugs. We didn't say Wendy's, but you probably thought Wendy's, and you thought right. With a unique blend of spices, these are the spicy nugs that other spicy nugs.
Guys, I'm gonna head out once you guys are coming back to break.
Got it, buddy. Backslash.
Hold it down.
All right.
Backslash.
Backslash.
Thank you guys.
Next week.
I'll be listening on my way out.
All right, so we have 4 entries coming back.
Okay.
So you hit me with the next sip read.
Yep.
All right, and then we'll go over these 4, and then whoever has any questions or whatnot, we'll go from there.
Okay. And then we're not deciding until the next break, basically. Or do you want to? We're deciding on the
Let's decide on
Oh.
that. Unless we want to give everybody 20 more minutes, and we can just do it at the beginning of our third.
Is a formula
I
for success.
either way, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
Right now, with Jalen Hurts, who hasn't played much, and
40
Devontae
seconds.
Smith, who they're coddling right now, only because we have strengthened our blindside tackle position. Jason Kelsey is still a stud. Brandon Brooks is back. If he stays healthy, Brandon Brooks is another stud. And Lane Johnson is one of the best right tackles in the league.
Lane Johnson
That
is a
sets
big
up
man.
for everything. Now, I get it. We're not expected to do well. But if this offensive
Is this like-
line holds
Is
together,
this like a
anyway,
commentary? Quimby?
then
I guess this is like from one of our shows, and then it's kind of like what they used to do with you at the beginning of the season, like a minute.
Hear the Green Legion crew only on the Gambler.
Welcome back. Hey, we welcome you back. The next sip, a small plastic drink pouch that frees your hands while you keep your beverage in the ready position. NECK next sip. Time to free up those hands and wear your drink, everyone. It holds any beverage, even bottles, cans, and snacks. Text with both hands and drink at the same time. Visit nextsip.com and follow them at nextsip. Customize it any way you want. Perfect for sporting events, Philly born and USA made. Only $5, 15% off when you use the code Green Legion. Again, visit nextsip.com and follow them at nextsip.
Welcome back to Bud Light Baseball Brunch, where we are going to cool things off a little bit here in the second segment of the show. We're
fired up.
Yes, we are fired up for sure. And I'll tell you what, sometimes I love having that opportunity to get it off your chest. You know, like this is one of the great things about having a job in radio is the fact that you can air your frustrations. And I've taken Murph's advice a little bit this season as far as not airing my grievances out on Facebook with drunken Facebook posts as I have in the past. And I think a lot of times I want people to come here to the radio station here, 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, and you can catch it every Sunday morning from 11 to noon during baseball season. So what upsets me a little bit here is I want to have that opportunity for baseball season to be extended into October. Like I don't want our last show, Murph. I don't want our last show to be Sunday, October 3rd.
I'm with you.
You know, and a lot of that, like it wears on me because, like, you know, being a former Phillies season ticket holder, you know, we gave up our tickets after the 2019 season and the pandemic hits and all that stuff, and we didn't go back this year. It's frustrating because I remember what the ballpark felt like, you know, during those years, you know, and life was different at the time, you know, 07 to 2011, you know, I was in college and I graduated college and I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I had no obligations in life outside of just going to the ballpark and enjoying myself. 50 to 60 times a year, I was at the ballpark. And I remember what it felt like. And, you know, I want other people that have not been able to have that experience, you working for the team, you know, during that time frame, Murph. And, you know, Timmy over here, I don't know how old Timmy is. Timmy, how old are you? 28. Okay. So like you still have a great remembrance of what that was like. And, you know, I want people to be able to understand, like, when I voice my frustrations and I say what I say, I remember what those good times were like and how frustrating it's been over the last decade to live without it. And it's not there. And like I sit here and I want to believe in this team. I want to believe in these guys. I want to believe in a guy like Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto and Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler and Rhys Hoskins, Gene Segura. I want to believe in these guys. But you've given me no reason to believe in you past a certain point. We've seen you ride in first place. We've seen you been in first place midway through August. It's happened. But the thing is you don't have enough gas to get past it to get you towards the end of the season. And, you know, like you see a team like the Braves, they lose a top 5 player in Major League Baseball and Ronald Acuna Jr. They have not gotten a single pitch out of their staff ace this year at all. And I've got people sitting there going, oh, well, the Phillies are missing Rhys Hoskins and they're missing Zach Eflin. Like, really? We're going to that? Like, the Braves aren't making any excuses. They're not. All they're doing is playing winning baseball. And Freddie Freeman, who started out the season, we were all laughing at him at the beginning of the season. The guy was batting around 200. He's batting 300 now. He's proven why he's the MVP of the league.
And that proves the point of, you know, you come out of the gate, and I imagine Braves fans were feeling very much like you feel right now about Freddie Freeman for the first half of this season because he was not a good player. He's an outstanding player now. That's the beauty of the 162, and that's why. You know, I know players and coaches say it all the time, but there's some truth to it. Believe me when I tell you, you know, having spent the last decade with the team, embedded with the team, on the plane, in the hotel.
Hey, Murph, where's that Irish look?
Exactly. Yeah. You cannot get too high or too low in a 162 seat. You just can't. Because it serves no purpose if you're playing the game. It serves no purpose if you're, you know, in and around the team, because you know that this week, it might be terrible, but next week things could turn around. And, you know, you mentioned the teams from 08, 09. Yeah, that was an amazing time in this city. But there was a time when Pat Burrell was going to be run out of this town. There was a time when J-Roll could not be part of a winning team. I mean, those conversations happened on radio and television and in bars and rest because they hadn't done it yet. So your frustration is, you know, can they win with Bryce? They haven't yet. Okay, so that's a good point. Can they? We'll see. But in a decade, if they haven't won with Bryce, then you can have that conversation when that contract is over. Can they win with Rhys Hoskins? You know, is Aaron Nola, you know, really a guy that can take you to the post? I don't know. None of us know yet, but the time is still there for it to happen. And that's all I'm saying is that you have to let it play out, and then you see where you're at when it's all said and done.
All right. Well, let's go back here real quick before we go in. We have a couple questions for the segment. Make sure you guys get them on the message board. We'll take your questions during this segment. We have 8 minutes left on the segment. So we're going to go over the top TV show or movie that is centered around school. Now, I can honestly tell you out of the list of our 4 here, I've seen one.
Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right.
I don't have much leg to stand on here.
If you've only seen one, I probably. What are they?
All right, so number one, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh man, you haven't seen that?
No.
Oh,
1982.
do yourself a favor.
Yeah, all right, maybe I'll add that to my movie list.
Coming of age.
School of Rock is one that I have seen.
School of Rock is good.
I do like that with Jack Black.
Yeah.
Summer School
Oh, another classic, Mark Harmon. Yeah,
and Lean on Me.
and that's a great movie. You haven't seen any of those?
Do we qualify to even chime in on this, or do we just let Murph pick one here? Because all I'm saying is School of Rock. What do you got, Timmy?
So I think I saw the first two. I've seen Ridgemont High, so I have seen that one.
Okay.
And I have seen School of Rock. The other two, I've never.
All
heard
right.
of.
So first of all, do yourself a favor. So Summer School is a funny, goofy comedy with Mark Harmon and very good, worth the 2 hours that you'll invest in it. Very funny movie. One of my favorites in that era. Lean on Me, complete opposite. Based on a true story of the high schools in New York City. And I forget his name at the time, but the principal of the school who kind of locked down the school and changed the lives of a lot of young people. It's a true story. And so again, a really powerful movie, great movie to watch. So really good choice. None of them as good as Breakfast Club. Let's just get that out there. But
All right, Murph, well, why don't you go ahead? You pick your winner.
Well, geez. So Lean on Me is just such an outlier because it's like I said, such a powerful, good movie. I love that movie. Great answer. But out of those, I think I would go with Fast Times at Ridgemont High, because you're talking about a movie that came out 40 years ago and people still talk about it all the time. So I'm going to go Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I like the fact because that's a new person that won tickets with us this season. Rick Canes, congratulations on Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I know Sam will reach out to you. Sam will reach out to you. She'll get your email address from you, and I will send you over the tickets later on today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us.
See, here's the thing, though. Now, Rick is probably my age, so that means his kids are probably my kids' age. So
I don't know. Well, he's a smart man because he's in his profile picture here on Facebook. He's wearing a Claude Giroux jersey.
There you go.
And then he has a young kid that's right next to him.
Awesome.
So I don't know. Listen, that might I can't see how old he is. Maybe he'll blow himself up with his age. It might be a grandkid. It might be a kid. I don't know. But I'm going to lean towards it's his child.
Well, I hope that the book bag gets in the good hands.
Yes, please take your child with you. That'd be awesome.
All right, Rick.
All right, sounds great. So we got a couple questions here, Murph. 5 minutes left in the segment here.
Wait, before you two promise me that you'll watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High before I see you guys next.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right.
I'm already covered there.
You saw it.
All right, maybe me and wifey will watch that tonight.
Yeah. Sean Penn, classic performance.
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll tune in for sure.
Phoebe Cates.
Just don't ask me trivia questions on it next week. All right. So first question that I have here, Murph, is from my buddy Angel over at Broad Street South. He does phenomenal work. Yeah, I know you've been on their show as well. They do a great job, great show, and really appreciate how he's been tuned into us this season. Great guy. He wants to know how we feel the Phillies will finish the month of August.
I actually think the Phillies will finish the month of August stronger than they are playing right now. That's what I think.
It's a good Kanye West song.
It's stronger.
Yeah, isn't that what it is?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Back to Fast.
I remember. Are you more familiar with "Stronger" from Britney Spears?
No, I don't know that one either. But I think it's Green Day this week, which was awesome. But no, I think they'll finish the month.
The Rays are going to be tough. A 2-game set with the Rays. We're going to cover as we always do at the end of the show.
Win one against the Rays at home, and totally doable. They can beat Tampa in a game. Maybe they win both. Just don't lose both here at home. Then you got Arizona for 4, and then you have Washington for 3.
Going to Washington.
Yeah. So
we've had Washington's number too.
Yeah. And they are going to turn the tables on Arizona. Will they sweep them in 4? I don't know. I'd be shocked if they don't win 3 or 4 of those games.
I agree with you.
So because of that, I think they finished when it's all said and done. If you put me on the spot, I would say September 1st, Phillies are 3 games out of the division.
Ooh,
that's what I would say.
Okay, all right. God, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah,
with a month ago, we'll take it for sure. All right, and then our good buddy here, Mike Butts. You hooked him up with those 4XL T-shirts, Minute with Murph.
Yep.
I hope that's, just for the program. That was for the show, right? Minute with Murph.
Yes. You know how many times I've heard that one?
But we haven't used that one on air. So hey, I want to have some fun with that one. So Mike wants to know, do the Phillies need to bring up Marchand to replace Knapp? He's not getting the job done. I know we talked about this a little off air previously.
No, it's a fair question. And here's my answer. And, take it for what it's worth. I know Andrew very well. And
he's great at putting the homer hat on guys. I'll tell you what, man, he's fantastic at that. And he's batting 1,000.
And he does a lot more than that people don't see. I mean, he is in.
He did catch last night for Nola too. He called a good game.
Called a great game.
Yeah.
He is a guy that behind the scenes does an awful lot for the pitchers on this staff. And
coffee?
Yeah, no, maybe, I don't know, but I'm telling you, the backup catcher role is probably the toughest role on a team because, and especially when you got a guy like JT on the roster, you're not going to play a whole lot. Andrew knew that coming into this season. He comes to work every day and is a outstanding prep guy. He and JT work their tails off to get these pitchers, the scouting reports and to watch film, and they do all that. Andrew, that's a difficult job. You're not playing. You're not going to play 6 out of 7 days of the week, but yet he comes to work and he works every day. I know this is a results-oriented business, and when you're on the field, you have to produce. And Andrew offensively has not produced, and that's. No one's probably more frustrated than Andrew Knapp. He did produce a little bit last year when he got a chance to get a couple more at bats. But so to answer Mike's question, no, I think you ride it out with Andrew Knapp. Rosters do expand in September, not as much as they used to, but they do expand a little bit. So you might see Marchand come up anyway at that point. In fact, I would be surprised if you did not.
So it's always good to have an extra catcher.
Absolutely. But you know what? The Phillies might need to address their backup catcher situation next season, but for now, what folks don't see that Andrew Knapp does is an awful lot. And, I think he's earned his spot on this roster so far this season.
With a very valuable 153 batting average.
Yeah. No, he hasn't hit. There's no doubt about it.
I'll tell you what, though, he's got a fantastic mustache in his Google. When you Google Andrew Knapp batting average, the mustache is wonderful.
Oh, there you go.
So, hey, all right. But I'll tell you what, if he does not produce, he's going to have to get a new car and get out of town fast after this season. And I'll tell you where he can get one at. Cherry Hill Triplex is the premier New Jersey Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Kia, Mitsubishi, and Ram dealer serving South Jersey and all the Delaware Valley. They have a huge selection of new and used vehicles from which to choose. Cherry Hill Triplex, online and offline customers enjoy vehicle specials every day. We offer Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Kia, Mitsubishi, and Ram service and parts, and online inventory and outstanding financing options, making Cherry Hill Triplex the preferred dealers serving the entire Delaware Valley. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Kia, Mitsubishi, and Ram buyers, get ready and set up a test drive. Visit us in Cherry Hill, New Jersey today. Coming up in our last segment, we're going to give you an update on our standings as far as our picks are concerned and our Can You Believe It? And we're going to look ahead at the Phillies week ahead, even though we kind of already did that. So, But coming up right next on the on our last segment here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, don't you go anywhere.
Jane presents a tale of long-lasting scent.
That block was quick.
That was a quicker one.
Yeah, well, we went in like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, in our first segment, we were rolling.
So life
all right.
3:30 on this one.
Okay. All right. So you are Bucks County Baseball coming back, and then that leaves us with around 12 to 13 minutes.
Right now,
for an even longer lasting scent.
You going straight to the ballpark from here? Or?
You know what? I was going to. It's like a weird thing. It's like by the time I get home, I can be home for like a half hour, and then I'm gonna have to turn around and go back. But my dog, Krista's away for the weekend, so my dog's there by himself. So I'm gonna go back and
like a good neighbor.
And actually, my son's gonna stop by. So I'll be home for like a half hour.
There you go.
Yeah. Because it's not. I sit at the ballpark for 3 hours. I don't need 3 hours to get ready for the show. I need an hour and a half.
Right.
I'm looking forward to a play date with my granddaughter.
Can't wait to get together with my friends
Pitcher for the Padres today, dude.
The day was to be determined the last time. Musgrove went last night.
Okay,
Still is.
CBS is off.
Still is. DVD. According to this.
Bullpen game?
Oh, no.
CBS has now
Oh,
salmon.
Yes.
Oh, Craig Stammen. Okay.
Prevnar 13 pneumococcal 13 valent conjugate vaccine.
I wonder why that was TBD for a while.
Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help.
Maybe they didn't know Stammen was coming off the IL or something.
Prevnar 13 is not protected.
He's a reliever, right? So
Yeah, he is.
So he has the whole
Pharmacist today about Prevnar 13. Learn more at Prevnar13.com. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with a
He
weak
has
immune
not
system
started
may
a
have a
game.
lower response to the vaccine.
Started one in
The most commonly
June.
reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects
Started
and full
one in
prescribing
August.
information, please call
Two in
1-866-694-9300 or visit Prevnar13.com.
I'm Tamara Pridgett. And I'm Adrienne Herbert. And we're co-hosts of Sweat the Details, a collaboration from Under Armour and iHeartRadio. It's a brand new podcast by women, for women, here to shake up the conversation about women in sport and fitness. iHeartRadio is #1 podcast. Don't take our word for
Damn
it.
right.
Find Sweat the Details.
When that hit the other night, man, I was like, yes.
Turn off the morning news. Grab that third cup of coffee.
Yep.
And tune into Baseball Brunch with Murph and Sack.
The Phillies retired Roy Halladay's number 34 in front of 39,000 fans down at Citizens Bank Park. Zach Wheeler was just spectacular.
You know, Zach realized the big moment that was in front of him. You know, there was a lot of emotion.
It's always nice hearing
Roy
yourself.
Halladay and, you know, his legacy, his Hall of Fame career. Obviously, we lost him way too soon. And Zach Wheeler kind of took that.
How much time we got?
Took it upon himself
50
to
cents.
kind of honor him in a way that only, you know, Roy Halladay would appreciate. And that was going out and just being an absolutely dominant pitcher at the big league level. Zach Wheeler was outstanding that day. That day was great. That's what I think is so beautiful about the game of baseball is that, you know, it's different than other sports because it's an everyday thing. You know, it can be a grind. It's 162. But so many times you get to the ballpark and you see something that is either something you've never seen before or it's something that is so special that you're never going to forget about it. And I don't think we're ever going to forget about that start that Zach Wheeler had in this season on the day they celebrated Roy Halladay's life. I don't think we'll ever forget about it. We'll be talking about that 10 years from now on Bud Light Baseball Brunch.
Listen to Baseball Brunch every Sunday at 11 a.m.
You're committed to me for another 10 years.
Sack, right here on The Gambler.
Bucks County Baseball Company is the premier vintage sports clothing and collectibles retail store in the tri-state area. Visit www.buckscountybaseballco.com or stop by their Bristol, PA location. Items from the Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, and much, much more. Again, visit www.buckscountybaseballco.com or stop by their Bristol, PA location. The showroom is huge. The website even bigger. Bucks County Baseball Company, the name in Philly for vintage sports.
All right, welcome back to the last segment here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch, brought to you by 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, powered by Green Legion Radio. And yes, the cult of personality.
That's right.
Friday night was the return, the much-awaited return of CM Punk, baby. He is back in professional wrestling in AEW.
Wait, where did we just go?
All right. Great weekend in professional wrestling, Murph. I know you're not a fan, but
I read the script ahead of time, so that was cool. That was good.
Did I have that in there?
No, I meant I read the wrestling script.
Oh, okay.
So I already knew it was going to happen.
Yes. No, but CM Punk did return the other night.
I don't know.
For the first time in 7.5 years.
I interviewed Hulk Hogan once.
You did?
Yeah. That's the only wrestling thing I got.
Hulk Hogan. And then last night on SummerSlam, which is WWE side of things,
right?
The return of Becky Lynch, the man, and Brock Lesnar.
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch is a woman.
Okay.
But
why'd you call her the man?
Because that's what she calls herself.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's her
Good for
gimmick.
her.
She's the man. But the funny thing is the man had a baby back in December. So she's actually like,
I'm so confused.
She's quasi the mom
Okay.
/ the man.
All
She's
right.
very good looking though.
Okay.
She does not look like a man. Some of the women on the roster do, but I'm not going to dive into that. We'll save that for next week's show. When the Phillies are on more of a positive kick, and I want to just confuse you even more.
I will do my. If you watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I will tune in wrestling. It's SummerSlam, right? I got to write that down.
SummerSlam. Don't waste your time. I mean, it was a good show, but it's 4.5 hours. What Fast Times at Ridgemont High is an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll take it easy on you.
Thanks for letting me up.
All right. I know everybody is highly anticipating our picks because last week, Murph, me and you had solid selections last week.
Yeah,
I think you are now on a kick of like 4 or 5 weeks in a row where you've gone 2-1. You still haven't gone 3-0 this season.
No.
But I think you've only gone 0-3 once, while I've gone like 0-3 like
I think
three
I went
times.
0-3 twice, to be honest.
You have?
I think I did.
Okay. I'm this week, along with Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I'm going to dive into that a little bit further and
All right.
find out what our streaks are and our tendencies, because we're both hovering around 500, but you're only half game up on me now because I went 3-0 last week.
Right.
You're 29, 26-1 for the season. I'm 29 and 27.
Is that in the studio?
Well, the Gobbler just left. That's Slash.
That's Slash.
Yeah, Slash is the Gobbler.
Yeah.
So
He's in his car right now.
yes, he is, and he's listening. And he texted me and said, "I can't believe you haven't seen Fast Time at Ridgemont High."
There you go. See, Slash is a kindred spirit. He
He is?
knows. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll smack that kindred spirit around. No, I'm kidding. Love you, Slash. All right, money line, run line, over under run totals. What's on your ticket this week?
All right, so I hate doing this, and I'll probably get some guff for it. That's what I can
Fantastic
say on the
word,
radio.
guff.
But I'm taking the Braves. I'm taking the Braves over the Orioles. My man Tuki Tucson, I just like his name.
You sound great when you say it, too.
He actually has pitched pretty well for the Braves since
2-2. I think like a low 4.
I mean, he's got good stuff. He really does. This Braves team right now is rolling. The Orioles,
17 in a row they've lost.
Can you imagine? Think about that.
Yeah,
17 games in a row. That's hard to do. That is really hard to do in baseball.
The only hope that they have in that game is the fact that John Means is on the mound.
Yeah, John Means is good. And it's going to come up and bite me because I'm just, plucking the low-hanging fruit. The Braves are rolling. The Orioles have been terrible. So you watch. The Means will pitch well and jump on. And guess what? The way I look at this is fine. That it's a win for me regardless. Because if the Braves lose, I'm happy to go 2-1 this week and have the Braves lose. But if the Braves win, at least maybe I get something out of it.
There's only 3 good things about the Orioles right now. Actually, I'll say 4 because Camden Yards is one of them. Cedric Mullins, Trey Mancini, John Means. Outside of that, everything else on that roster is complete and absolute crap.
Yeah.
All right. My first pick this week, I have no idea why I'm going with it.
Okay.
2 bad baseball teams. But I'll tell you what, the over-under on this game just seems to be too good to be true. Because when you have 2 bad baseball teams and you have an over-under of 8, when it should probably realistically be closer to 10, and it dropped. It went from 8.5 down to 8 as we were going over our picks before the show. Under 8 this week, minus 114, Royals Cubs at Wrigley Field. I'm going to take the under on that this week. I'm 3 straight weeks now, Murph, where I've gone under.
Yeah, I know, which is, it's funny because early in the season, offenses were so dreadful across baseball, and you were living large on the overs. And now that the offenses have, kind of come back a little bit since the sticky stuff.
Spider tack.
Yeah, Spider tack has made its way out of the game. You're living on the unders right now.
I'm trying to feast off them. I'm 1-1 over the last couple weeks, so hopefully I'm 2-1 on those.
That game, I guarantee that game's 8-7. That it just because there's no way it should be or could be, it's going to be. That's the way I look at it.
The line is talking to me.
Don't bet on bad teams. That's right. All right. How about all right? So I'm going. My next one will be the Nationals and the Brewers. All right. I can say again.
Low hanging fruit.
Hey, pluck. I'm going to do it. You got Nolan pitching for the Nationals with his 12 ERA against Hauser for the Brewers. And Brewers is just a better team, and they pretty much got things under control in the National League Central, but they're rolling right now. So I'm going to take the Brewers to beat the Nats. The Nats are looking towards next season at this point. Brewers win that game pretty easily.
Worst thing the Brewers did this year was they no longer have the name of Miller Park.
Yeah,
it just doesn't feel right, man. It's just like it's something like it's long family health thing, insurance.
It's American Family Park.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Jesus,
it's where when you stay in Milwaukee and the hotel right downtown and the ballpark right out of town.
I've been there. Yeah. Love Miller Park.
So you're coming down the highway. I don't know what highway it is, but you leave the hotel, you come up on the highway, and you can see Miller Park. And
it's an architectural structure.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
See the huge Miller sign.
Yes,
and I'm like, I have not been back to Miller Park since they've changed the name thanks to COVID and getting canned and all that good stuff. So
you said it, not me.
So I have not gotten back there yet, but I can't imagine it's going to be the same when I do pull up on that highway the next time and see Great American or Great Family.
Timmy, look that up. Look that up. Yeah, we want the actual name for that, please.
Something Family.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
terrible. So. All right, I'm going to go with the Cardinals here. Low hanging fruit. I'm sticking with my boy Adam Wainwright, baby.
You've been riding him for a decade.
Adam Wainwright, man. All right, so minus 230. Yes, low-hanging fruit for sure. They're at home, and they're going to avoid being swept by the Pirates at home today. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals on that one. And Murph, I took note before the show, you don't have the Rangers to beat up on this week. So
no, the Rangers are rained out, right?
So you got to pick somebody else this week.
I know. Hey, I lost on the Rangers last week, so
doesn't mean you're not going to pick against them this week.
I would if I could. Yeah, I'm going to take Mother Nature to win the Rangers game today.
Well, that might be the only pick you get right today because it's already postponed.
All right, so you're right. I have to go somewhere else. So I'm staying with the game you just said, Pirates and Cardinals. All right, over under in this game is 8.5. I'm going under. Pirates Cardinals. Yeah,
we're both going under this week. I don't think that's ever happened.
And I'm not sure why I'm going under. I have a feeling this is going to be like one of those kind of boring 4-1 games, and the under's going to hit. So Pirates Cardinals under 8.5. That's my final pick.
Timmy, real quick, hit me with that pathetic
American Family.
Oh my God!
Well, okay, American Family. That makes you feel good.
No,
right?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not at all.
I don't know what American Family is. Is that like insurance company?
Well, yeah. All right. So we have a few minutes left in the show. We have about 4 minutes left, and I'm just going to make my pick real fast. My last pick: Dodgers minus 180 to sweep the Mets, just because I want Mets fans to be more miserable than I am.
There you go.
So, without further ado, can you believe it? Can you believe it? Real quick, just a couple shouts out real fast here. Fan to man, David L. Great show as always. He's chiming in. Broad Street South, fast moving show today, and so good. Like that fresh cup of coffee that you have. Been looking forward to. Great show, guys. And our good friend Lonnie Zimmerman, who was at last week's baseball brunch tailgate, she just joined in. Better late than never, and she says, "Hey, Sack." So I want to recognize some of our fans out there. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right, can you believe it? What do you got for me, Murph?
All right, so well, first of all, by the way, the Mets fans are more miserable than the Phillies fans.
Oh, without a doubt.
They've lost 10 games in the standings in 2 weeks.
Isn't it 11 now?
Yeah,
after yesterday, I think it's 11.
Yeah, you stop counting when it gets to double digits in 2 weeks. So, all right, so here's the first one I've got for you. We had this on the pregame show. It's a positive thought from the Phillies. Bryce Harper entered last night's game with a 165 OPS plus. The last two Phillies to finish the season with an OPS plus of higher than 165, both won the MVP. Mike Schmidt did it back in 1980 with a 171 OPS plus, and of course Ryan Howard did it. Actually, Mike did it twice in 1981, 198
Wow.
OPS plus, and Ryan Howard did it in 06, 167 OPS plus as well. So Bryce continues to have a great season.
Greatest single season I've ever seen out of a Phillies player in my life was the 2006 Ryan Howard season. Phenomenal. All right, I'm going to go with Joey Votto, another first baseman. All right, this is from Jason Stark. Williams, GREGG, Cobb, Boggs, Speaker. They're the only other 2,000 hit club members since 1900 who reached base more times per game than Joey Votto.
How about that?
Insane.
All Hall of Famers.
All Hall of Famers. Yes, sir.
You know,
you saw that tweet too?
I didn't. No, I didn't. But that's pretty amazing. The conversation this week, is Joey Votto a Hall of Famer? Look, I'm not a huge fan of Joey Votto and his antics, especially when he's here in Philadelphia. Joey Votto is a Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
Absolute Hall of Famer. I don't even think there's a question.
I mean, he's an MVP.
Yeah.
You know, 2,000 hits really,
he
like
is
in the grand scheme of things, yes.
In fact, I think he could be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Could very well be.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely. All right, what's your second
All right,
one?
here's my next one. Starling Marte got traded to the A's
sir.
in this season. First athletics player to steal 15 bases in 21 games since Ricky Henderson did it back in 1992.
Wow, I like that. That's a good one.
I mean, he's been invigorated out there.
No doubt.
In Oakland.
No doubt. All right, and then my last one is a pretty easy one, but a fun one. Aaron Nola struck out his older brother Austin on 3 pitches last night. It was the first time in Phillies history that a Phillies pitcher faced his position-playing brother per Elias. That's courtesy of Matt Breen.
Yeah, the last brothers to do it in Phillies uniform was Mike Maddox and Greg Maddox. They faced each other, but not position players, obviously. It was the first time ever. So it was a cool moment.
All right, so we have about a minute left here, if that. This week we have the grudge match, the rubber match against San Diego today. Another day off on Monday, and then they come home. 2 against the Rays, 4 against the Diamondbacks before. We're back at 1100 Social next Sunday. Make sure you guys come on down, check us out from 11 to noon, and say hi to Murph and get photos or an autograph because nobody wants to see me. What do you got this week,
The
Murph?
Phillies got to win 8 of their next 10. They have to win 8 of their next 10. You know,
They put themselves in this position.
They really did.
Yes.
But they have a chance to dig out. So let's give them a chance to dig out.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Thank you all for tuning in again, as always, here on Sunday mornings with us at Bud Light Baseball Brunch. My man, Timmy O'Keefe, thank you for sitting in with us today. It was a pleasure meeting you as well. For Greg Murphy, I'm Chris Sack. And like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard, we are out of here, baby. Thank you all for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Have you wanted to speak
Awesome,
to
guys. That was
me?
great.
Thought it'd be too
We try to keep it as smooth as possible for you guys.
That was great.
In just
Yeah, nice job, Tim.